What is the proper way to celebrate Yudalit Kislev, the Rebbe's wedding?
The basic truth is that we are Chassidim. And Chassidim obviously live our lives according to Chassidus. What is Chassidus? Chassidus is a way of life which is predicated on the unseen, on what's underneath, what's inside. That means the neshama. The difference between a Chassidic way of life and a non-Chassidic way of life is where life begins from. A non-Chassidic way of life begins from the mind and from the ego, from the conscious person. A Chassidic way of life begins from the soul, from the inner person. And of course the difference is the outer person can be corrupted and perverted. The inner person can be hidden and concealed, but it's always intact. That's what Chassidus is. Chassidus is a neshama person. And the deepest truth of Chassidus, and it's not only the deepest truth of Chassidus, it's the most important truth of Chassidus, is the concept that we call his kashrus. The deepest form of Chassidus is the neshama bond between a Jew and the Reish B'nai Yisrael. That neshama, that's the head of the Jewish people in a particular generation. And the difference between a life where one is living, where he's facing b'bchinas ponim, the Nasi Ador, and Rachmana Litzlan, a person who lives a life, like it says in Tanya Perek Beis, that is makabel b'chinas acherayim, is huge, is extraordinary, it's huge. And of course, the way this plays itself out in our practical lives is that every chassid lives to do what the Rebbe wants. Every chassid lives to give the Rebbe nachas ruach. Why? Because this is our life. Our life is this connection. And people sometimes start to feel like it's so costly to be a chassid, you have to sacrifice this, you have to sacrifice that. What we fail to realize, we're not sacrificing. This is life. This is it. This is life. Our connection to the Eibush Tekvayachal is with the Nasi of our generation. Like it says by Moshe Rabbeinu, Mumutza HaMachaber. And therefore his kashrus, our connection to the Rebbe, is the foundation of our very existence. And it's hard to learn that. And it's hard to live that. But it doesn't make it less true. The real Indian of Chassidus is listening to the tzaddik and Taka doing what he says. Folgen, the greste Sache is folgen. They say in the name of Rav Shmuel Levitten. Rav Shmuel once told, he said many times, there's all kinds of things in Chassidus, but the first, you have to listen, you have to follow the folgen. And he had a personal story where he didn't listen, and he had a very, very not good effect. Medaf folgen. The greatest thing we have is our relationship with the Rebbe, because that's our connection to the Eibishter. And the Rebbe tells us to do things which are not in our plans, or inconvenient, or he expects too much of us. That's what it's all about. It's all about embracing that. So you talk about Yidal Kislev as the Rebbe's Yom HaChasanah. So we all know the expression that Rebbe himself used on his 25th wedding anniversary when he said, Heint is the Tag, was verbunden Eich zu mir und mir zu Eich, Heint bin ich hereingegangen in das Konas HaKlal. Today is the day that connects you to me and me to you. Today I became a public servant. The Rebbe was a public servant from childhood. He was the son of a Rav in a big city in Soviet Russia. But he sees his entry into Askonos HaKlal when he marries the Rebbe, when he becomes the son-in-law of the Frierdiker Rebbe. And we all know and understand how much it meant to the Rebbe to be an Eidim. They say that after Chabei Shvat, the Rebbe actually asked the Rosh Yeshiva if he's still an Eidim. I saw one of the videos of Moedendik Maise. It's not so much Moedendik as it is Gishmak. That there was a Yid in Paris whose name was Bez Baratka, Mr. Bez Baratka. I don't remember his first name. And he would see that Rebbe would meet him from time to time. Anyway, one time the Rebbe came to see him and his mother was there. He called himself Mr. Schneerson, and Mr. Bez Baratka had no idea the significance of the name Schneerson. But when his mother heard the name, she said to him, this is royalty. This is Lubavitch Rebbe. So this Mr. Bez Baratka asked the Rebbe, does he have a relationship with the Rebbe, with Lubavitch Rebbe? So the Rebbe smiled and said, Musye zayin tochter. That was the answer. Musye zayin tochter. He didn't say, I'm the son-in-law. He said, Musye, the Rebbe's is his daughter. His whole Metzias is through the marriage, the Rebbe becomes a hemshech zum Friedrich Rebbe. Like the Rebbe wrote in the letters, Chosnei Kabinei, the Rebbe wrote himself, a son-in-law is like his son. And that's what Yudal Kislev. Yudal Kislev is the marriage of the Rebbe to the Rebbetzin. So although the Rebbe is a Rebbe be'etzem, but his galus of that is when the Rebbe married the Rebbetzin. And the revealed bond between the Rebbe and the Friedrich Rebbe was formed. So your question is, how do you celebrate Yudal Kislev? You thank God you're a chassid, and you thank God you're connected, and you undertake to do more. It's very simple. His kashrus is about actions. In the olden days, his kashrus may have had deeper and higher and more spiritual significance. For us, it's about doing. And the Rebbe has given us so many things we can do, which are expressions of this connection. And in this connection, we're blessed. We're better Jews. We're connected to the Eibishter, and so forth and so on.